Welcome back to Fantasy Football by Committee, powered by Flurry Sports. It can be tough to win a fantasy league on your own, but at FFBC, we will work together to bring home the hardware. Hosted by Zach Bruner and the rest of the Flurry Sports crew, we will give top-level analysis, answer your questions, and, well, go off on other tangents.
That was after I tried to get ChatGPT to admit that 9/11 was an inside job, but it stood firm. It gave quite a few solid points that it was true.
Welcome to Fantasy Football by Committee. The show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Whoa, whoa. We're back. Go ahead. Sorry.
It's week 6.
It's week 6.
That was my intro.
Week 5 was fun.
Yeah, no, I played against Jamar Chase. It was not fun. But week 6 is here. So if you played against Jamar Chase, that's behind us now. If you had Jamar Chase, hopefully he can replicate it again. But we're back. Zach, our fearless leader, is not here. Apparently, we just can't find a schedule that works for all of us. But that's all right. The girly guys are back. That's a throwback. It's always a party when the girly guys are in the building. So, as always, we're going to go over the rankings. Feel free to drop any fantasy football questions in the chat. As always, too, even when we're not on stream, if you're listening to this on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen to your podcast, go to Facebook, Fantasy Football by Committee. Facebook group, we're trying to bring back fantasy football discussions that we missed from Twitter, when Twitter was a fun place to be and we all helped each other out. Trades, rating lineups, what should I do with waivers, yada, yada, yada. You think it, we got it. We'll answer your questions. You can answer questions. You can answer other people's questions. And, it's a good place. It's a fun place. It helps us all out. So feel free to put it in there. As always, listen to all the podcasts on the Flurry Sports streams. And with that, hey, we'll go right into the first question. He might be a St. Louis fan, though, so that's a little tough.
Yeah,
I don't know how to feel about that. But we'll start it off with a trade question. Struggling with this trade, got offered Kupp for Walker. Other RBs are CMC and James Cook-Moss. So I'm thinking it's just a straight-up Kupp for Walker. Luke, what side are you taking here?
Yeah, I'm definitely taking Cooper Kupp. I mean, he's still one of the best receivers in football. The Rams started out last week with Matt Stafford just peppering targets to him. That kind of fell off come the second half, but I mean, he still finished 7 receptions, 95 yards, something like that. Good enough to be startable and good enough to win a week for you. It's only going to go up for Cooper Kupp. I mean, he's back off the injury. He's Stafford's guy, right? We saw him have a Triple Crown season a couple of years back. If I can get Cooper Kupp, especially because I think CMC and I think James Cook is a fine RB too. I think Zach Moss is a fine flex as of now. And I think you can afford to trade Ken Walker. And if you're trading Ken Walker, someone like Cooper Kupp is exactly who I'm affording to trade Ken Walker for.
Yeah, I'm absolutely doing it too, especially since I don't know why my camera keeps cutting in and out.
Oh, there we go.
CMC, man, this is when you trade high for him. This is absolutely when you trade high for him, or trade him high. We know his injury history. He's not going to have much higher of a stock. So if you really need running backs, I'm sure you can trade CMC for 2 solid RB2s if you're even worried about that. I don't think you should, but I'm saying if you're worried about running back depth, which is what I think you are if you're asking this, then that's something you could do.
He's trading for Cooper Kupp, not CMC.
I know. I'm saying he has CMC, and he listed his other running back, so I think he's worried about his running back depth.
Oh, understood. Gotcha.
And I think if you have CMC, you don't have to worry because you can always trade him for a boatload of all.
Yeah, and Chris McCaffrey's the best player in fantasy football.
Absolutely. It is not close.
Yeah.
It's not close. So we're going to jump into these rankings quick so that we can answer your questions, too, if they come up. We're going to start at quarterbacks, as always, 1 through 5. Josh Allen against the Giants, Patrick Mahomes against Denver, Jalen Hurts against the Jets, Justin Fields against Minnesota, and Tua against Carolina. Luke, what are your initial thoughts?
Josh Allen at 1 against the Giants. Like, the Giants have been bad this year, right? They've been put on tons of primetime games. Nobody likes watching the Giants on primetime. It fucking sucks to watch the Giants on primetime. And that makes me love Josh Allen, right? You know, Wink Martindale, you talk about him a lot. Like, the guy's just a fucking psychopath. He likes to blitz. He likes to get up to the quarterback. I love Josh Allen coming with blitzers coming at him. You know, that's single coverage all over the board. Josh Allen isn't afraid to take shots, isn't afraid to take risks. Play in zone. Josh Allen will tear you up on the ground. This is just a better player versus a much inferior opponent. So I love Josh Allen at 1. Patrick Mahomes historically destroys Denver, so perfect at 2. Jalen Hurts is kind of getting saved a little bit here by his rushing touchdowns, but you would have to imagine that this passing game, I like it was going these last couple of weeks, but I would imagine this pass game gets back to a little bit of what we saw last year. I would imagine Philadelphia probably needs to work A.J. Brown in the end zone sooner than later, and I would imagine against the Jets defense that is susceptible to big plays. I would say that this could work with Jalen Hurts. Justin Fields looks like the best quarterback in football right now. Back-to-back 4-touchdown weeks against a horrible Minnesota defense. I think Chicago wins that game. I'm cool with it. And then Tua is Tua.
Yeah, for me, I think 1 and 2 I can see. My change is I would switch Tua and Hurts. To your point, Hurts has gotten, I don't want to say lucky, but the tush push has helped him a lot in fantasy value. It's really buoyed him. Now he's playing a tough New York Jets defense, whereas Tua plays Carolina, and that's tough defense. And the only question I have for Tua against Carolina is if they're going to let up. And I think by the time they score enough points to let up, I don't think it even matters.
Do you like tush push or brotherly shove better? I like tush push.
Brotherly shove is nice, but I think we got to stick with the original.
Yeah, okay, cool.
But Justin Fields, he's starting to get into his own, so he's 4. Other notable names in the rankings, Zach's not here to give his difference where he ranks compared to the consensus, but big names, Lamar Jackson at 6. Justin Herbert at 7.
Everybody, Zach Bruner.
Oh, there he is. Hey, he's back. Welcome. You saw how bad we were doing and you said, I got to save this shit, right?
Well, Trevor's camera was off for the first 3 minutes of it.
Not 3 minutes.
No, I was watching since the beginning, and I needed a break after today. So I was just listening, and gotta say, you guys, hell of a show. Hell of a show. Good stuff. I was just found myself listening. I was a fan. But yeah, I figured to be completely honest, you guys started. I'm like, I should jump in. And then I looked at quarterbacks. I'm like, I don't want to talk about quarterbacks. So like, I let you guys introduce it.
Tush push or brotherly shove?
I think brotherly shove makes the most sense, right? Give a little ode to Philadelphia.
Wrong.
I mean, tush push could be anything. Like, at least Philadelphia mastered it. Let's give them something.
That's fair.
Not that I want to give Philadelphia much of anything, but
So you want to jump in and tell us where you differ?
I didn't catch the last little bit, but you guys just talked about the top 5 essentially, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think I'm a little higher in Justin Fields maybe than others, but I mean, we've been saying, or at least I've been saying for a month, like at some point they're going to start calling run plays for Fields. They're going to change the, throwing point for him in the pocket and stuff like that, get him on the run. And once they do finally fucking do it, then he's going to be a must start again. And they did it last week, and I don't think they go back again. I think it's going to be just like last year. So I think Fields is a must start until he gets hurt, which is, probably a strong possibility, but especially against the Vikings who blow.
Bad.
Yeah, I like him. I have Josh Allen 1 just because, I think Mahomes is the consensus 1. I just don't really trust Mahomes a ton. Hurts has a good matchup or a tough matchup. But Josh Allen, like that Giants defense, like Wink Martindale is a defensive mastermind, but he needs the personnel to do it. Like the 2 things he needs more than anything are 2 outside cornerbacks that are good because they need to play man coverage. And I think he has 2 rookies that just aren't playing very well, and that's why their defense sucks. So, I mean, if they try to play man defense against Stephon Diggs and Gabe Davis, it's going to be a slaughter fest. So, yeah. Otherwise, like other quarterbacks, like I think it's notable to just say where Joe Burrow is. I have him at 10, if you guys are a Joe Burrow owner, are you starting him this week?
I am.
Are you starting him?
Yeah.
What's your confidence level?
I'm confident high. Like, I'm riding the wave off of last week. Obviously it wasn't, superstar Joe Burrow that we've known, but I think anybody was looking for a reason to start Joe Burrow, and it's against Arizona. Whatever is that the momentum? Is that the kind of whip your ass back into shape that Cincinnati needs? I don't know, but I'm riding with it.
Yeah, I'd agree. Seattle's defense doesn't completely scare me. I don't think they're a bad defense, but I don't think they're a defense that's going to put him on his back enough to not be a starting quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of where I was at, just that I'm not afraid of their pass rush, which is the one thing I would be afraid of with Joe Burrow at this point.
Yeah.
They did have a week off, so they did have 2 weeks to prepare, get healthy. I have no idea if that means Jamal Adams is playing or not. I think he is, but for how long, who knows? But if I'm Seattle and Jamal Adams is playing, like, I'm sending him on a blitz every fucking time at Joe Burrow. One, because I don't think he covers very well, but he would destroy this Bengals offensive line. So we shall see.
Do you mind if we start with a question that came in, I think, right before you got in here?
Let's just finish the quarterback rankings so we aren't super scatterbrained. And then we'll rattle through questions and we'll just jump to running backs. Brock Purdy, I think, is almost a must start going forward. I don't love the matchup against Cleveland coming off a bye weekend. Cleveland's defense is good. But I think we can treat him as, truthfully, I think he's a Dak Prescott equal.
Yeah, certainly. I think, too, against this Cleveland defense, right? Cleveland has been great against the run this year. It feels like San Francisco is the perfect running. Well, of course, we talked about Christian McCaffrey to start the show, but it feels like it's just a perfect opportunity for 2 or 3 screenplays to go very long ways, and that only benefits Brock Purdy.
And if there's one offensive line I trust to block Myles Garrett at least somehow, it's probably San Francisco, personally.
Probably. I mean, this game could go super, super south for San Francisco, I think, truthfully. Like, first off, we don't know what San Francisco is going to do when they play from behind. They may never play from behind this season. Who knows? But, like, this offensive line is really good in run blocking. And I think they're average at best if they have to, set up and just stay in front of somebody. That's certainly not what they're best at. Trent Williams is in a category of his own. But the rest of the offensive line is kind of, I don't know. It's the weakest I think it's been in some time.
Yeah, I don't disagree, and this kind of goes to my point about setting up McCaffrey with screens. I think if it comes to it where Brock Purdy's under pressure, San Francisco has perfect guys to run underneath routes and just take the ball and run. So that makes me like Brock Purdy this much more.
That and they're just creative with their offensive line, like. They just know how to scheme it. It's the opposite of Cincinnati. Cincinnati. Like, Cincinnati has zero concept of how to block, how to scheme up blocks, how to scheme up play action or anything. And San Francisco quite literally are the best at it, possibly of all time. So, really quick, quarterbacks I'm higher on. I'm 4 higher on Jimmy Garoppolo at 19, 6 higher on Tannehill at 24. I'm 5 lower on Jared Goff at 17, apparently. I think he'll come up a little bit, but I don't love him this week. What stadium is he in this week?
Tampa.
At Tampa, yeah. I mean, Jared Goff is so much worse on the road. Yes. So much worse. It's not even close. So
especially outside.
Don't love him, especially outside. Tampa, again, coming off of a bye week. Their front 7 is legit. Tampa needs to get more respect. So as much as I love the Detroit offensive line, I don't think Jared Goff's going to be kept clean all day. So I do think he struggles a little bit. I'm 3 lower on Dobbs, which is scary. Like, it's not like he's good at football, but he does get a decent amount of rushing yards. So we'll see. And then I'm 4 lower on Derek Carr at 28. There is an abnormal number of people still starting Derek Carr.
Crazy.
And I think you can find people everywhere. I mean, pick up Gardner Minshew and start him over Derek Carr.
Yep. Yeah, I think this week too, like, And maybe this goes back to like Joe Burrow. I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of starting these. Like Zach, you have like 21 down. There's only two quarterbacks that are on bye this week. Neither of them should be starting at all for anyone's team, and Kenny Pickett and Jordan Love. So start your guy. Start your guy this week. I don't know. I don't think there's much more to it. Like there's no reason to not start a stud this week.
The last person I'll talk about, then we can jump into questions. Trevor, if you want to ask the question you have in mind in particular, because I don't know where we're starting. But the last person I'll talk about is Deshaun Watson. Bold take. I'm not a fan of Deshaun Watson. But this week in particular, he plays against San Francisco. He had a bye last week. Week before that, he was medically cleared to play and said he didn't want to play. He didn't feel right, whatever it may be. He already missed practice this week. And, I mean, if you're staring down Nick Bosa and San Francisco, like he may feel a little sore or a little not right already again this week as well. So, regardless if he plays or not, I'm not starting that motherfucker. I can't do it.
Correct. I agree.
No. Any other quarterback to talk about? If not, Trevor, go ahead with questions.
Go ahead, Trevor.
All right. Well, I'll show it on the screen.
Okay. Would you do Nico Collins and TJ Hawkinson for DeAndre Swift and Dallas Goedert? I don't use Collins because I have 3 good receivers, and I have Achane. Achane. Screw him. And Bijan for running back, so I need to replace Achane for a while.
Yeah, I'm cool with it.
I don't like it.
Yeah, I would do it, but I'm not like sleeping well at night after that. I just don't put a ton of trust into DeAndre Swift.
Yeah, I understand that. My reasoning to do this is like this. Well, I mean, yeah, he needs a fill-in for running back here.
Yeah, and obviously you can do worse than Swift. I just know it's going to do a 180 very soon.
Do you think that you can get more for Collins and Hawkinson?
For Hawkinson, for sure. I don't know where people value Nico Collins.
Yeah. That would be my only question to this. Otherwise, I would say take this trade.
I don't think it's a bad trade by any stretch. I think it's an even trade, and I hate making even trades.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
Clearly. Then we got Randy. Shout out Randy 3336.
Do I trade Devontae Adams?
Devote.
I've seen Devontae spelled every way, and Chris Olive for Gabe Davis. Randy, you know the answer to that. Next question. It's a trick. There's no way. Next question. Do you trade Nico Collins?
Yes.
For Derrick Henry?
Alex Collins.
Collins. Yes.
Rip. Rest in peace.
Is he dead?
Yeah.
R.I.P.
Yeah.
I would
I would do it. I'm not viewing Henry as a RB1 rest of season, but I would for sure do this trade.
But Henry's still a guy that can slot in as a running back.
For sure. I just wanted to preface that.
Yep.
I flip Burrow, Pacheco, Michael Thomas, and Boyd for Ekeler, Osborne, and Pickett. Love it, Stu. I love it. Hopefully you have another quarterback option, I suppose. But, I mean, getting the best trade. Oh, he has Mahomes. Okay.
Okay, perfect.
Well, super flex, though.
So Kenny Pickett is QB2.
Right. But, I mean, even still, I think it's okay.
Yeah, I don't hate it. Although Mahomes, I'm sure he's excited for Mahomes and Burrow to start the year.
Right. Nico Collins
and,
for Henry.
Yes, Collins for Derrick Henry. Do it.
Yes. There's a delay. So I'm sure that's what it was. Before we jump into running backs here, I do want to do one little thing just because there's people watching, going to be people watching after the fact. Today, Wednesday, is the second day of Amazon Prime Day. So I'm just going to leave this up on the screen for a little bit. If you scan that QR code, you go to the Amazon Prime deals. And if you do that and end up making any purchases, you do end up supporting the show. We get pennies on whatever your purchases are, but help us bankrupt Jeff Bezos pennies at a time by supporting us, by making your Prime Day purchases through that code, please. I'll leave it up for a second. I'll flash it a little bit more later. Maybe I'll flash something else if you make a big purchase. We'll see. But I know big stuff happening today. Running backs. I don't even have the chat open. Let's do
Lorkick Adams.
I mean, that's about what I've seen on Twitter. No one knows how to spell Devontae. I don't understand. Let's experiment here. Okay, it does come off. Would you do Nico Collins and Hawkinson for?
Yes, I would do it. Cross DRL.
Yes. Watch the VOD back too. We talked about it a little bit more in detail. But yeah, we will. Looks like there's a link as well in the chat, at least on YouTube, from the QR code. Please go and make a purchase if you find something you like, and it does help us. So please and thanks. Running backs. Have PPR because that's what fucking Fantasy Pros grades us on. I don't know exactly what they grade us on, but supposedly there's a formula. I don't get it. Christian McCaffrey, number 1. Duh. Mm-hmm. Number 2, Tony Pollard at the Chargers. Number 3, I do have Bijan versus the Commanders. I think he's going to go down to 4, though. I think Austin Ekeler versus the Cowboys is going to jump him. And then Travis Etienne I have at 5 versus the Colts. Luke, does anybody stand out to you? Agree, disagree?
To talk about Christian McCaffrey for the third time this show, like you said, he's the best player in fantasy football. Start him. All he does is score touchdowns. Tony Pollard I'm really interested in, right? Dallas, kind of shit the bed last week. Of course, it was great. It was a great San Francisco defense. I'm almost wondering, Khalil Mack's coming off of kind of a career game here. Or was that 2 weeks ago? Whatever it was. I would imagine they still, they want to keep him getting after the passer. I think that creates a ton of running lanes for Tony Pollard, and I think this is kind of a little of a bounce back game for Dallas. I don't necessarily know that they win this game, but I think they look a lot better than they did last Sunday night. And I think Tony Pollard, has to be involved in order for Dallas to look great. And I'm sure we'll talk to him when we get to receivers, but like Dallas is just not throwing CeeDee Lamb the ball. So I think those two can kind of, coexist together well and play off each other well. And I think that has to happen in order to beat a Chargers team that's very beatable.
Yeah,
I'll say that again.
Christian McCaffrey's the number 1 running back unless he's hurt or on bye till the end of time for me. I don't think there's a reason the season did not have him one. Pollard I like too, and then Eckler's back. It seemed like not a lot of people, I guess with so many running backs out, it felt like he was out a long time, but no time at all at the same time. So I'm excited to see him back, see what he can do, because that Dallas defense is going to come screaming. I think they're going to come right. They got a lot to be mad about, and you need him as a safety valve, because if you don't use him, Justin Herbert's going to be on his back the entire game.
Agreed. Shout out Millie Mills in chat. Cross, for sure. AJ Brown over DJ Moore rest of season. Yep. I think they're close this week, but rest of season, not close.
AJ Brown will find the end zone.
Yeah, for sure. And DJ Moore is not going to go for 150 plus yards. Maybe any other game the rest of the year, but especially consistently. Dallas's offense I like a lot. I do think they feed CeeDee Lamb the ball, spoiler alert, and I think that's just going to help their team overall. If they can just get Tony Pollard in scoring position, he's going to find the end zone. So I like that. Chargers suck against the run. They suck at pretty much everything else as well. I think the Cowboys, there's a chance the Cowboys embarrass these fuckers. They suck. And Tony Pollard would be getting the ball a lot then. Ekeler, not afraid of coming off an injury whatsoever. They were pretty
did I read
conservative.
Did I read Leighton Vander Esch is out? I
mean,
that just helps every running back that plays Dallas now.
Sure. But Brandon Staley will see 0 linebackers on the field and then throw it deep. Fair. So I'm interested though. It's obviously I forget his name every time, but Bozo offensive coordinator revenge
Anthony
game.
Lynn.
Not Anthony Lynn.
I'm sorry. Kellen Moore.
Sorry. Yeah. So, after Mike McCarthy said all Kellen Moore wants to do is run up the score and pass a shit ton, he's going to go in there and try to run up the score and pass a shit ton. And the Cowboys, and especially Robert Quinn, aren't dumb. They're going to defend that. Micah Parsons might have 3 sacks. It's going to be a fun game. Is that a Monday night? Good. I was going to say that better be a primetime game. Other running backs, I mean, David Montgomery, I'm hesitant with in the matchup, but I still have him at 8th. I think he falls in the end zone, which is all we're aiming for. Saquon, I'm not trusting plays this week. I think he does, but I'm not going to trust it. He's kind of a little bitch. Especially with injury recovery stuff. He just feeds incorrect timelines and narratives and then does the opposite. It's so stupid. Jonathan Taylor, I have at 23. I think he's still going to be on a snap count, essentially. He wasn't really on a snap count last week. They just rode the hot hand. He would have gotten more work than he did last week if Zach Moss wasn't Zach Moss and everybody. But
RB controversy.
Right. Like, I think it's probably a 50-50 split this week, would be my guess.
Yeah, I agree.
Does that seem fair?
I mean, how can you not give the ball to Zach Moss any less? I shouldn't say any less, but how can you not give it to him any more after what you saw last week and the week before that?
He's earned it.
Certainly.
Like, you can't just abandon that. Let's see what the recent news report on Roschon Johnson is. Still in concussion protocol. I've seen a lot of people essentially jump to conclusions and say he's already out. I think that's a little dangerous to say.
I'm jumping to the conclusion and saying that he's in.
Fair enough. But I'd be like, he played Thursday.
Right.
So it's not even a week. He has multiple days to get through, concussion protocol. I think there's a chance he plays. I think there's a greater than 50% chance he plays. We know Khalil Herbert's out.
Yep.
I've already seen people not say he's out, and he's for sure out. So Deontay Foreman's going to be active, and, that's probably a 50-50 split, assuming the rookie's healthy. Javonte Williams, who the fuck knows? He plays tomorrow, and I'm still not confident. I would assume he plays, but
yeah, I'm sitting Javonte Williams.
If I can, yeah.
Good. Yeah, okay, if you can afford to.
Who the fuck is doing these? They said it. Okay, I'm in a bad mood. I apologize, people. But they rule him his injury designation a quad. How many times do the Broncos need to say it's a hip flexor? Right. We need to stop misdiagnosing players. It started out as a groin, called a hip flexor, and then we're like, not quad. Okay, whatever. So stupid. Compared to the consensus, I'm going to take a wild guess and say I'm drastically lower on Jerome Ford, but we'll see. Yes, I am. I have Saquon Barkley at 12. I'm projecting him playing. I'm projecting Jahmyr Gibbs playing. Pretty close with everybody else. I'm higher on Pierre Strong, but he's not startable by any means. I'm higher on Cordero Patterson because he's a good player. I'm 4 spots lower on Alvin Kamara at 15. I'm 5 spots lower on Zach Moss at 29. I'm 10 spots lower on Jerome Ford at 35. People are calling him an RB2. That's hilarious. And I'm lower on Keontae Ingram. That is someone we need to watch and someone who's getting lost in the mix a little bit. Obviously, James Conner on IR. Keontae Ingram was the RB2. Neck injury, I believe something else as well. He's been out. That's why DeMercado has been operating as that RB2. They just signed Tony Jones, which suggests Ingram may not be ready to go. But I've seen a lot of, like, in some of my leagues, people used over a quarter of their fab on DeMercado.
Yeah,
which is
you're
wild.
Only going to get 4 weeks out of him, if that.
Even that, I mean, you might get 4 or 5 weeks out of him. It's maybe he sees half of the snaps. Yeah. Maybe.
And he's only going to produce if he scores like last week.
Yeah, and he's not. I don't know. I get a lot of shit for saying this about Jerome Ford, I suppose, too. But DeMercado, he's okay. He's not that good. It's not like an A-Chain situation where it's like, oh, he gets the bulk of the snaps. Let's see what he does with them. And, oh, wow, A-Chain's really good. DeMercado is fine. He's a 24-year-old rookie who didn't do that well in college.
Yeah. He's nothing more than
in the Big 12.
Yeah, he's nothing more than a plug and play.
Yeah. We hope he scores a touchdown. Yep. That's about it.
Yep.
Questions.
Yeah, before questions, I got a running back I want to talk about.
Do it.
Jeff Wilson.
Okay. Has there been a news report today? Obviously, I've been sort of off the grid. Has there been anything saying he's coming back and practicing yet?
I think he was limited.
Banda's returned to practice today after several weeks on IR, limited in practice. It's his first day of activity, which, usually after being on IR that long, there would be like a ramp up period before he plays, which makes me a little hesitant on him. But like once everyone's healthy, he has a significant role.
Yeah, I mean,
so he's a must own.
Yeah.
But are you starting him this week? Is that what?
I mean, I'm starting him because I have to. But if you can, obviously he's not going to be Devon A-Chain, but who else is getting those carries? Like, Salvin Ahmed's not getting the Devon A-Chain role.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
I'm not. There's a strong chance Jeff Wilson doesn't play this week. Like he logs the reps because there's a 21-day window, I believe, that just gets activated today. Sure. So there's a chance he's not active this week. So people are going to be like, Mostert is the number one running back, and then they're going to give Ahmed 15 carries.
Yeah.
Like they like all of these guys.
Yeah, you got that in my head now.
Yeah, I could see Wilson playing. I don't think there's any chance he sees a full workload, like a typical full workload, whatever you would consider that to be.
Sure.
Yeah, they also play Carolina, so
yeah, no,
they can play.
Not a huge reason to run someone off an injury against Carolina.
Not really. But if you lose to Carolina, then people like me talking about how terrible Tua is, regardless of how well he played.
Is Mike McDaniel the front runner for Coach of the Year right now? Got to be, right?
I don't know. I mean, Dan Campbell's going to be up there.
Fair. I would imagine Shanahan's up there as well.
Sure. They won't give it to him for sure just because he has a good team. They've been good.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Not to go off topic, that's the point of the show. In a league that values a trade calculator over an actual on-field production, how the fuck do I manage to get trades off of them? I mean, you got to work that trade calculator and find the discrepancies. I know a lot of people in my leagues that are like that too, and that's what I do.
Mm-hmm. Yep, certainly.
Yeah, you just got to see. You got to see. That could be fun. That would be a fun show to do, just to find the valuable trade assets for the trade calculator people. You know what I mean? Because there's going to be some where it's like, wow, why are they valuing a player like that?
Yep.
If I'm sending better players who may have not had an explosive game yet. There's a video from last week on our channel here, Buy Low, Sell High. Most of those buy lows are still relevant. So look at those, I would say, as well. Do we know how long H&M will be out for? At least 4 weeks. I think there's a chance longer, but at least a month.
He's awesome, man.
He's good. Would you trade Saquon for ETN? I would in a heartbeat.
Sure.
Absolutely.
I'll say sure. Maybe because I'm a Saquon guy.
Fair enough. Higgins or Ridley rest of season?
Ridley.
I'll go Ridley. I think it's close, but yeah. Will Kamara for James Cook, Ayuk and Zay Flowers, or Kamara for Ridley, Aaron Jones, and Christian Watson?
I don't like either of these trades, but I like the second one better. Wait.
I like the second.
I like the first.
Is he getting Kamara? No, he's trading away Kamara.
No, he's trading away.
Okay, that changes my opinion then.
Christian Watson sucks for fantasy.
I like the first one better then. I like that trade a lot, to be honest.
Yeah, I think I like it better too. I think it's close, but I like both trades in your favor, I should say. Like I think you win both trades, but I prefer the first one.
Yep. The Ayuk over Ridley does it for me. Ayuk versus Ridley, I should say.
Fair. Who would you start between Kirk and Burrow? Where did I rank Kirk? I think Burrow's higher for me this week.
Minnesota plays Chicago, right?
Back to back.
Yeah, you have Kirk at 9, Burrow at 10.
Yeah, so I guess it's Kirk for me. I think
I'm playing Burrow.
I'm taking Kirk.
Burrow's more fun.
He is more fun. Jair Alexander asks, would you guys be holding Justin Jefferson, A-Chain with good records and trying to sell them in the middle of, or trying to sell them, I would guess?
I'm trying.
I'm trading A-Chain 100%. I'm keeping Justin Jefferson.
Probably, yeah.
If you could still trade A-Chain for top value, like he was one of my sell highs last week.
I think you can.
We know what Miami's going to do. Right. I think there's a chance. I think you can almost. It's going to be hard to get people in the middle to overbid, I feel like.
Yeah.
Though.
I also don't think you can trade Jefferson unless you're getting crazy, like really crazy stuff back. Even if he's on 4 weeks out, whatever.
Well, if you have a good record, you just need to tread water until the end.
Right.
You know?
Yep.
I'm confused by this. Was there somebody with a name?
My name's Jeff. That's from what's that movie?
Oh.
Channing Tatum, Jonah Hill, 22 Jump Street. My name's Jeff.
Never seen it.
Oh, so good.
Gallup or Trey Palmer in the
gross.
Flash?
Trey Palmer.
I hate this question. No comment.
Trey Palmer.
Jared asks PPR thoughts on Waddle for Garrett Wilson and Stevenson. I like it.
Yep. He's trading Waddle for Garrett Wilson and Ramondre Stevenson.
Yep.
Fine.
Yeah. I don't think you're like, yes, I'm great.
I understand the trade. I don't know. I like Waddle moving forward.
I don't. Bo Pucks thoughts on what to do with Pittman. I traded away Mike Evans and Ford to receive Pittman. And Anthony Richardson last week, unfortunately, because I had Joe Burrow, quarterback unlucky. I mean, Pittman sees an upgrade with Gardner Minshew. So,
yeah. Tough with Anthony Richardson.
Yeah, so what to do? I mean, you're playing him. I think he's a better play with Minshew than with Richardson.
I'm curious what Pittman's value is. I don't have any stock in Michael Pittman this year. So I haven't paid much attention to him, and maybe that's ignorant on my part, but I'm very curious on his value.
I agree. Thanks for all the questions, everybody, by the way. 10 PPR, should I trade Henry for Olave if I view my running back room?
I think you get more for
him.
More
running
for
back
Henry.
For Jacobs, Hall, Rashad White, Jonathan Taylor, Ford, Henry, wide receivers at Godwin, Watson, T. Chase, Say Flowers, Garrett Wilson.
How many teams are in this league, first of all?
10. Starts the question with it. You can get more. You can get more than just Olave.
I think you can, partner Henry with like Christian Watson or something, get even more.
For sure. Or get rid of Jerome Ford while you can.
Sure. Yeah.
You know, Ford and Henry for a super running back in AD team. Stoop asked Jeff Wilson or trade Palmer if Evans is out. Wilson, if he's active, I just don't know if he's going to be active.
Is Evans out?
Bo Puck. There's a chance, yeah.
No way.
He's hurt. I think he plays.
Yeah.
But got my trade stack now. I got Burrow, Ekeler, Bijan, Tay, Waddle, Nico, Pittman. Yeah, you're good.
Great.
You're solid.
Very good team.
Ooh, we got a cool guy in the chat. I traded Marquise for Aaron Jones, AJ Dillon, gross. James Conner, gross. Just got injured, and I already have Thielen, Devontae Chase.
You should be fine.
Yeah, you're okay. Yeah. Question to you guys: on a scale of 1 to 10, how droppable is AJ Dillon rest of season?
No, I wouldn't say 10. I'm going to say 6.
I'm going to say 10 because I don't want to see him on my team.
I'm like he's getting used. And I mean, he's coming off a good game. Why wouldn't Matt LaFleur give him more? I guess they're on a bye. Why wouldn't he give him more after that? You know, I think Green Bay's looking for any reason to continue to give AJ Dillon carries, and I think he showed that last week.
I think that's fair. That's why I asked, is because he's on bye. There's going to be people having to make those decisions, like who the hell do I drop to field a lineup? And I don't think he's a do not or must not drop if that makes sense.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Like we've seen him without Aaron Jones already.
Mhm.
So it's like that should have been the time to play. It's like people who own Tyler Boyd.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, why are you hanging on to him now? We've seen him without T. Higgins, and it was exactly what I said it was going to fucking be. Like Tyler Boyd's nothing.
I'll throw an argument for A.J. Dillon here. Is like it's really tough to find, and this is going to be credit to A.J. Dillon, serviceable running backs in the waiver wire. If A.J. Dillon's on the waiver wire, he's at least getting carries, and I don't know that you can say that more than 2 or 3 running backs are on the waiver wire.
I'll say your point better,
please,
not to one up you. It's hard to find usage
that's
at the running
what I was
back
trying
position.
to say. Yes.
Yeah, that's serviceable running back, but fair. I mean, that's for sure. Like, would it surprise anybody if Aaron Jones gets the Packers 80 yards down the field and then A.J. Dillon flops into the end zone?
No.
You know?
Well,
like,
yes, but
there's
no.
a chance it happens going forward.
Yeah, I was just about to say, kind of.
Yeah, fair enough. That's fair. Fuck off. Jared was offered
PPR.
Ahmad Ra, St. Brown. I assume that's one person, right?
Yep.
For DK and Atwell PPR, I get Brown.
I want Amon Ra.
Yeah, I would do that. Drop Najee for Javonte Williams. Very interesting.
No, I don't think so.
Would you drop a Ritz cracker for a wheat then? That's kind of the question.
I don't think so. I think Denver plays behind much more than Pittsburgh plays behind the rest of the year.
If you need somebody to start this week, I value Javonte Williams more than Najee.
Well, yeah.
But I think the Steelers have to move on from Matt Canada at some point.
I know he's fucking Najee Harris.
Maybe they don't. Yeah. I don't know. I think they're both flex value moving
There's
forward.
got to be someone worse on your team that you can drop for Javonte Williams.
I agree. I hope so.
Yeah.
But
if not, you have an incredible team, and that probably doesn't really matter.
That's true. Do I trade Kyron Williams and Zay Flowers for Stephon Diggs?
Yeah.
Yes, assuming your running back situation's fine.
Yeah.
Because again, talking about usage at running back, Kyron Williams has some of the highest usage in the league. So I'm not trading him lightly.
It's a good duo.
It's
a good duo.
A solid duo. It's a sneaky athletic duo, I would say.
Right.
Hunter Johnson, do I accept getting Alvin Kamara, Jordan Addison, and Chris Olave for Devontae Adams? If you are dropping 2 players who are absolute scrubs.
Yeah. Like Jordan Addison's going to be much more involved, right?
Yeah, then I don't hate it.
I like
it's
it.
Tough. But yeah. Yeah.
Fuck, I don't know. I'm never trading away Devontae Adams. Fuck that noise.
Fair. Last one, then we are going to cruise through wide receivers. My running backs are loaded. Should I trade Saquon for Amon Ra? Mari Cooper is his wide receiver too. Yes.
Absolutely.
Okay, wide receivers quickly. Rankings, if you are watching on YouTube or Facebook, rankings are linked in the chat. They will be updated throughout the week. I say that because we are not going to be touching on these as detailed as we usually do. My top 5 wide receivers are Tyreek versus the Panthers, Jamar Chase versus the Seahawks, Stephon Diggs versus the Giants, Cooper Kupp versus the Cardinals, Keenan Allen versus the Cowboys. I have CeeDee Lamb at 7. We talked about him earlier. I think he gets force-fed the ball. DJ Moore I have at 9. We talked about him earlier. Anybody stand out of those?
No, I'm not. To everyone listening, I promise I'm not like sucking the boss's dick here or anything, but that's exactly how I would order the top 7.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Trevor?
It's hard to follow that. I'm going to put Keenan Allen a little lower. I like Keenan Allen. Actually, you know what? Not Keenan Allen.
What kind of analysis was that?
I was thinking about it, but I forgot they don't have Trayvon Diggs anymore because I haven't watched Dallas this year. I'm putting Stephon Diggs at 2, but other than that, I like it.
Jamar Chase is always fucking open.
Well, I'm looking at Jamar Chase's stats split between home and away as well. and he plays at home this week against the Seahawks. So I like that. Keenan Allen, if Micah Parsons is going after Herbert all game, you would assume get the ball out quick to Ekeler and Allen. They both may have over 15 catches apiece. Who knows? Amon-Ra, I think, comes back to play this week. I have him at 11. Adam Thielen's a fucking stud. I have him at 17. He's going to cash his season-long futures bet for me before the bye, and I love it.
Before the half of the season.
Yeah. T. Higgins, really quick. What's the update on him this week? Limited at practice. Yeah, my gut says he plays this week. What about you guys?
Yeah, Bengals, like that goes back to my point about the Bengals. Like, it's a kick in the ass. Like, yeah, we're back here. Let's get our studs back in.
I agree.
Currently still have Josh Palmer above Quentin Johnston. I think Johnston's going to get more involved as the year goes along. I have Palmer at 43, so not exactly a must start by any means. Then I have Johnson at 53. I have Jackson Smith and Jigba just behind him at 54. I think they're going to start to get him a little bit more involved as the year rolls along as well. He's done nothing, obviously, so far, but he's too talented to not see the ball, especially given his skill set. It's just easy pitch and catch if they wanted to. Jameson Williams isn't startable. I don't foresee him ever becoming startable.
Yeah.
That's my opinion on Jameson Williams.
Yeah, I agree. And I'm sorry.
This year, at least.
Trevor, do you have any different opinions on that? Because I wanted to cut in with someone else there.
I don't. Jameson Williams doesn't move the needle for me.
Curtis Samuel.
Stud. I like him a little worse, I think, than the consensus this week. He's just super, super consistent. I am at 44, probably a little too low on him. But, like, I think I said this Monday when I did whatever. Like, he just feels like around an 8 to 12 point PPR guy every single week. Last 2 weeks, like this last week, he scored a touchdown. Week before that, he recovered a fumble to score a touchdown. Can't really rely on those two things. I don't think he's going to have much touchdown upside. But if you're looking for a wide receiver in PPR with a super stable floor, I think he's it. I think last year he finished as the quietest wide receiver 35 or something around that range I've ever seen.
Yeah, and this is probably an obvious take, but a dumb way to say it. Sam Howell feels more like a Logan Thomas, Curtis Samuel guy than a Terry McLaurin, Jahan Dotson guy.
Yeah. And this week, especially playing Atlanta, we know Atlanta has a really good cornerback one outside corner. Mm-hmm. Like, he can shut anybody down. We saw it with Nico Collins last week. I assume that's going to be Terry McLaurin this week. So DFS, I think Dotson's an interesting play. Season long, Curtis Samuel might be the safest play out of all the wide receivers there.
I mean, yeah. The safest pass catcher is Logan Thomas.
Probably. The reason he wouldn't be safe is that he would get hurt and leave the game.
Sure.
Role-wise, safest. People I'm higher and lower on. I'm 6 higher on KJ Osborne at 37. I am 4 higher on Curtis Samuel at 44, apparently. I'm 13 higher on Brandon Powell at 83. Not Brandon Powell from Elk Mound, Wisconsin. Brandon Powell, who is the wide receiver 3 now for the Vikings. Might be the same player. I'm not sure. I'm 4 lower on Puka Nacua at 13. He's not a top 10 guy. Sorry.
That's still trade him.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely trade him. He's not going to score a touchdown every week. 4 lower on Amari Cooper at 28. 4 lower on Jerry Jeudy at 39. I have zero confidence in him. Like, he is not even a second thought in that offense. He's like a fourth thought.
Yep.
I don't get it.
He's the guy that play breaks down Wilson. Yeah. Go ahead. Yep.
I'm 4 lower on Josh Palmer, I guess, but whatever. Who cares? Any other receiver before we go back to the chat?
I don't think so. You guys have any strong thoughts on Hollywood?
It feels like he's overachieving right now. Like, he feels like a sell high to me.
I don't disagree,
but
I'm also
maybe not.
Yeah, I don't think you should question if you play Hollywood. If he's on your team and you can't trade him, start him.
Yeah. At this point, he's a must start every week. He's playing well. Kyler Murray might be, a month out or so.
Yep.
So maybe stock goes even higher. Parker. Do I keep or trade Gibbs?
I don't think that you can trade Gibbs unless someone who's buying Gibbs right now.
Exactly.
That's the thing. Yeah, I think you have to keep him. But if you got someone unbelievably optimistic that's willing, they think they're buying low, but they're actually buying high, then do that. But you're not selling him to sell him.
Should you buy Gibbs if somebody wants to get rid of him, or not even thinking about him?
I'm not buying him.
Yeah. I'm not buying. I wouldn't buy him if I am in a position where I need to start him.
Right.
If that makes sense. If I'm buying him as my running back 3, running back 4, love it. Love it. Because Dan Campbell screams a guy who came into the season saying, we are going to save Gibbs when we make the playoffs. Like, we're doing that playoff run at the end, knowing very well that the Detroit Lions haven't made the playoffs in how long. Right? Like, so, like, just supreme confidence. And he's like telling his offensive coordinator, don't use them because that'll jinx us. Like, that's what it feels like to me at this current moment. But
I understand why everyone has a take. Like, why did you draft Jahmyr Gibbs at 12? But the Lions are 4-1, so who the fuck cares?
Yeah, fuck off to all those people. Your fantasy team's not more important than anything Dan Campbell thinks. Parker can get Ramondre Stevenson. Would you do that trade?
I would. I like the guaranteed touches more.
Close for me.
Yeah.
Certainly, it's close. The guaranteed touches is what puts it over the edge.
Well, I mean, the thing about Gibbs is too, like, that duo in the backfield, if you take out the fantasy relevance, they look fucking good week 1 against the Chiefs. I know they didn't have their guy there, Chris Jones, I think, but like that tandem looked nice.
There's a chance you can get Ramondre Steve's value. Am I breaking up? Is my internet better now?
You're lagging.
You were a little bit, but you're back.
Oh no.
We're good.
1 second. You guys continue the show. I have a point that I'm going to make.
Okay.
All right. Well, we'll start it with the question from Josh then, while we got him here. 20-man PPR team.
Love this.
This is not. There's no way this is true. There's no way.
Oh yeah.
There's no way.
What do you mean? 20-man PPR is incredible.
JT, Aaron Jones, Tyreek Hill, Christian Kirk, Komet Downs. There's no way this is somebody's 20-man PPR team. There's no way.
I think it's possible.
Zach, do you think this is a possible 20-man PPR team?
I bet Josh could do it.
You get Tyreek Hill first, come back and get Aaron Jones, and then they probably overpaid on Jonathan Taylor in the 3rd round.
Yeah, I mean, Jonathan Taylor could have fallen for fucking ever. You don't know.
That's fair.
I like this for a 20-man team.
I mean, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
I believe you, Josh.
Fucking do it. Do it, Josh. Trevor doesn't believe you. So, you know, send proof. Go to the Fantasy Football by Committee Facebook group and post proof.
Actually, yes, do that. And then you can ask us questions and put proof in all day, every day of the week.
True. Trevor, you control the questions here because I refreshed and I can't take it down and I don't know the questions before I came back. But really quick, Bill Belichick's record against former Belichick coaches is terrible unless we're talking about Bill O'Brien. Josh, it's Fantasy Football by Committee. If you're watching on YouTube, there's a link in the description. Actually, just click that. But Patriots are terrible. Bill Belichick, for whatever reasons, really struggled against former coaches. And if that continues and Ramondre Stevenson sucks against the Raiders, like, he's going to get dropped in a lot of leagues, I think. Which is, you know, I would love to pick up Ramondre Stevenson, but I also thought that about Anthony Richardson. I picked him up last week and used a lot of fab to do so.
Oh, yikes.
Yeah, that was great. Joe, 12-man.
Joe Swanson. Sorry, I was watching a lot of Family Guy today.
Why is this? Restream is glitching so bad for me. 12-man non-PPR. He's got Tua, Walker, Swift, Puka, St. Brown, TJ Hawkinson, Josh Jacobs, Lions D, Ayuk on the bench. Keep him on the bench or plug him in.
Ayuk in for Puka, trade Puka. Easy.
Yeah, if you can trade Puka, do that. Otherwise, I may play Ayuk over Josh Jacobs.
Yeah, against New England.
Possibly.
I would.
Yeah, but I would love to float Puka out there and see what you can get. Alex, thoughts on the trade? 12-man, triple flex PPR. Traded Marquise Brown, Jahmyr Gibbs, and Jeff Wilson for Bijan Dulcich, who's probably back this week, and Sky Moore. Is that a good trade?
Sky Moore is nothing to me. But I mean, Bijan is probably
Correct.
better than Marquise Brown and Jahmyr Gibbs combined, right?
I would say so.
It depends on how your wide receivers are, to be honest. Bijan's not, breaking records over there. So, if Marquise Brown was starting for you, then I don't love it. But overall, it's okay. I don't think Sean Payton's going to use Greg Dulcich. I don't think Sean Payton wants to.
Sean Payton wants to use Adam Troutman.
Yeah. And they just signed Traquan Smith. He's going to get worked in. It's
gross.
Broncos are
Sean Payton's not smarter than everybody. I mean, they're playing for next season. That's the issue. Like, they're already playing younger guys over the good guys. It's piss poor. It's embarrassing. It's so stupid. Like, Sean Payton has this master plan to get one of the top quarterbacks in the draft because he doesn't like Russell Wilson that much. And fine, but like, fucking try. Like, it's embarrassing. I can't take it. They're not bad.
I like it,
but they're playing so bad.
Oh, he's got Olave, Addison, and Higgins.
I mean, I don't like it then.
I like it.
Like, I don't read Olave, Addison, and Higgins and be like, okay, I'm good. I'd be like, okay, now I need a wide receiver to start. Like, do you have any faith in Olave and Higgins right now?
But I have faith in Bijan, though.
And then, why?
He scores, man.
Like,
he looks cool on the above head camera.
Yeah, but like, PPR finishes 7-9. That's great. 22-11-22. And now Cordell Patterson's back. Bijan Pacheco rest of season. I think that's a real conversation. Master Keefe. Shout
out Halo.
Like, I think it's Bijan slightly because I think Pacheco gets drastically more touchdowns than him.
Yeah, I mean, Kansas City's going to work Jerick McKinnon in this offense too.
They don't really need to.
They didn't need to last year.
Yeah, they did. They didn't have wide receivers who could do anything. They had Juju.
I mean, how is that different than this year?
It will be. Right now, it's not.
Yeah.
It will be. Like, Rashee Rice is coming on. Justin Ross will get more. Kind of want to trade for one of those. Oh, I mean, if you're trading for one of those, I'm trading for Pacheco because you can trade so much less value.
Yep, you're right.
Ralph, you're the man. I appreciate you. Let's talk about you. Talk about your question. Wish me luck trying to go 6-0 without Justin Jefferson. You got this. Hopefully you made a nice waiver claim for one of those Viking guys, or you're good to go. But shout out to you.
Shout out, Ralph. Good luck.
Did we answer Alex's question too?
Pierce. Yeah. Should I trade Pierce for Stevenson? No. A lot of people are starting people like Kadarius Toney as their last flex.
Like me.
No, I still wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hold on to Pierce right now. He is in the better offense. He's very clearly running behind the better offensive line, which is getting better as the weeks go on because they're getting healthier. So, yeah. Tight end, super quickly. Kelsey, Hawkinson, Andrews, Laporta, Ingram.
Yep.
I'm
moving Laporta up to 2, but I mean, it's not a crazy argument for that. So it's cool. I'm cool with it.
Trevor, same.
Laporta's a stud, but if you don't have him in Dynasty, I think trade him high while you can. I love him. He's a great player, but I don't know if his stock can get any higher right now. Maybe not.
Is Laporta tight end 2 in Dynasty right now?
He was tight end 2 at the start of last week, so he's probably still tight end
moving
2.
for the future. Like he's the second best tight end for Dynasty.
No, Hawkinson.
Okay.
I think.
That's right, because Laporta's number 1. That's why.
Top 2, not 2.
I like Laporta, but we'll see. We'll see. Darren Waller I have at 7. He was good last week as predicted. He's going to get used more and more. We'll see what Buffalo's pass rush does this week. That's the only worry for me. Cole Kmet I have at 9. He's going to continue to get used. Kyle Pitts 13. Jonnu Smith 14. It's the laziest take of all time for any person to say the Falcons don't use Kyle Pitts. If people are saying that and you're listening to them, just understand that that's not even true. Like he led all tight ends going into last week in air yards. So this is a stupid ass take.
Shout out Zach Ertz and Dalton Schultz for finding the end zone last week. That was nice.
Yeah.
Dalton Schultz is finally doing something. Dude.
Yeah, don't put any stock into that. There's no way. He is not that good. I am 3 higher on Jonnu Smith at 14, 11 higher on Noah Fant at 20. I don't understand why people are ranking him bad. Like, I feel like I'm missing something. I don't know. I'm 7 higher on Michael Mayer at 30. They are starting to use him. So he could be a very interesting deep league ad for you. I'm 3 lower on Gerald Everett because I know football. I'm 3 lower on Taysom Hill at 27. 6 lower on Durham Smith, which probably means he's going to catch a touchdown. And then I'm 5 lower on Adam Troutman at 35 because he wasn't even used until last week. Anybody stand out?
No, honestly, no. Like you guys, I'll give you another one. Any strong thoughts on Tyler Conklin? I feel like if you need a tight end, you can do worse than Tyler Conklin.
Yeah. He's got a clear role, which more than what other people can say. Where do I have him ranked? I have him at 19, which, yeah, I think there isn't a drop off after, I guess. But I have him above Dalton Kincaid, if that says anything. There's still people saying he's Dalton Kincaid's Travis Kelce. So, Dalton Kincaid, by the way, very droppable.
Yeah.
Very droppable.
Maybe the most droppable.
Stu, possibly. Stu, Kirk Cousins, or Dak Prescott, IRL, Kirk.
Do you guys see Njoku's picture of his burns on his face? That looked wicked.
I didn't see
check that out. It looked wicked.
What happened? Do we know what happened?
Like a house accident is what I was updated on.
Yeah, it just said house accident from all I saw too.
He was doing something dumb. You don't burn your face without doing something dumb.
You think it was a meth lab?
There's a chance. It's Cleveland. Yeah. Josh, appreciate you. We'll check that out after. Everyone go check out Josh's post in the Fantasy Football by Committee Facebook group.
I'll like it right now.
He is in a 20-man league, which sounds awesome, to be completely honest. Ralph didn't get anything on waivers. He's the one trying to go 6-0 with Justin Jefferson now. He had the 8th pick, counting on a breakout year from Gabe Davis. They want to use him, and a lot of people don't understand that he's a team captain. Like, the Bills love this guy. It's, I think he's going to have a good year. I don't think it's going to be necessarily consistent, but I hope it isn't.
I think as long as the Bills are getting the DPI calls every single pass, they're going to continue to throw deep. So I think that's a lot for Gabe Davis.
True.
Also,
his league is stingy. Thoughts on Puka's value? It is high, and you needed to sell him. I think you can sell him. I mean, according to the consensus, he's a wide receiver 1 this week. Exactly. So if you can sell him for wide receiver 1 value, pull the trigger.
Yeah, and this may be the last chance you get to sell Puka, to be honest.
Probably.
Yeah. Yes.
And also an update, Luke, on August 29th of this year, you said Fields would not throw for 2,500 yards. He's already 45% of the way there.
We're past that. I made amends on that take already.
I don't know if he did it publicly,
Oh.
but yeah.
Josh,
Josh, I don't know if it went through.
no,
Okay,
it's not on
Josh.
there yet. I looked for it. I tried to refresh. I will tell
Okay,
you
Josh.
what the
Got lost in translation.
if the main picture doesn't look like that on the fantasy football website, that's not working. That's super white. Beside the point. If it's not an FFBC logo on the header, it's not the right group.
And while Josh is trying to figure that out, I want to give one last thing here. It's Prime Day, everybody. And we need to rob Jeff Bezos blind. And maybe this is only coming from the profits. Maybe he's a good businessman, but maybe he's not. Scan the QR code and buy some stuff from Prime Day, and you can give back to the channel a little bit. Obviously, good deals over there. If you find something you like and you go to the site using that QR code, we could get pennies from your purchase. Maybe more than pennies. I don't know. But let's see. Please do it.
Also, it says Njoku had a fire pit incident. So
he threw a fucking gas cannon in the fire pit.
And here's the picture of him.
Kind of looks like Young Thug.
Yeah, kind of. It doesn't really help going through a really bad camera, but hey, I made an effort.
Okay. We're going to be back quickly here. This good mood will continue with Lombardi Sweep, our Green Bay Packers podcast, because we're going to talk about the Green Bay Packers. We're going to talk about what the fuck is going wrong in Green Bay during their bye week. What needs to change? Us three and Janet Wilson will be here. So if you want more from us, we'll be on this exact stream again in around 10 minutes. See you then.
Peace.
Bye. Really quick, Stoof has a question I'm sure is super legit. 3-team trade. Cousins to Dallas, Dak to Jets, Zach Wilson to Minnesota.
Love it.
Sure.
I love it for all three teams.
I mean, I don't want Dak with the Jets.
Yeah. Switch Zach Wilson to the Dallas. Switch Dak to the Jets and wait, I don't know. Fuck it. Cousins to.
You know what? Let's just cancel it.
Yeah. Cousins to the Jets. Yeah. I don't fucking know.
Okay. We'll be back soon.